Good afternoon, class. My name's Ryan, and I have a quick question. Have any of you gathered information about like a person's special in history or like a special event before?
Can you rephrase that?
Example. Oh, like you know Martin Luther King. Like, have you ever done a research paper on him before?
On people?
On anyone, or a special event even. Okay. Well, today we're here to talk about gathering information. So gathering information is a key step in planning a business message. When planning a business message, you must do your research on the audience at hand or the person you are going to meet with. Because when you are planning this business message, you must know how to treat the situation and what you will be talking about. In different cultures and different religions, people believe in different things. And so when you're gathering your information, you must understand where that audience is coming from, because you must know how to present your information to them. So in other words, you must put yourself in their shoes to understand how they feel about the topic you are presenting. So in order to do so, you must do your research. You must know where they are from, what they believe in, and what they find disrespectful. For companies, a good tip to help is to read their annual reports, financial statements, news releases, or customer surveys that they might have done before. When gathering information, it is always good to be aware of what your audience needs are. And if ever your audience feels uncomfortable in a situation and they feel like they do not understand what you are presenting, it's always good to ask if they understand you. In that way, you can always present your information in another way. So as I said earlier, culture and religion and language are some barriers to gathering information, because you may be used to one custom, but the audience you are presenting to may be used to a different custom and may find what you present disrespectful. And now I will pass it on to Alan.
Hi, my name is Rainer. I was just talking about the rest of the 2 points of the gathering information. The first one is the talk with the supervisor, pony, or customer. And the worker and the customer may know the information you may don't know. And you may know what your audience will be interested in. And the great advantage of the social media is the ability to quickly locate, extract, and the sources of important information. The second one is ask your audience for input. What does this mean? It's when you are talking, and you need to make sure your audience understand what you're saying. And so the one way to do is ask your audience. If they said yes, that's fine, that's great. And if they said no, you need to try to find the other way or use the other way to explain to them. And for example, if you want to be a good teacher, you need to teach your own knowledge to the student, and then they don't care how many degrees the teacher have, and your job is to make sure the student understand what you're saying. And I just pass to Isaac.
Hi everyone, I'm Ye Chen. Now I want to talk about uncovering audience needs. First, I ask everyone a question. Suppose a company hired you, but in many cases, the boss never listen to your opinions, which you think is much better than the boss's one. What you will do?
Can you repeat?
Well, yeah, can you repeat the question for him?
If you in the company, the boss never listen your opinions to do in the case, but you think your opinion is much better than the boss's one, so what will you do? You just follow the boss. you can do what you think.
If I can find another place that will listen to my opinion, I will go there.
It seems to me the boss will fight by me. That means I will resign. In a company, I think the employee like the audience. The boss like a lecturer. And this lecturer never encouraging the audience. Never encouraging audience needs. So this speech must be very boring for the audience. At last, nobody want to listen this speech. Therefore, I think in the same situation, different people will have their own opinions. So if you want to get a better decision, you need to cover your audience information needs. Now, Rihanna will present next part.
Hi everybody, I'm Rihanna, and I'm going to be talking about providing required information and the accuracy of information. So after you define the audience needs, like you just said, you have to satisfy these needs, and this is done through the journalistic approach, which answers the who, what, where, when, why, and how to tell if the message has been delivered effectively. And then you have to check the accuracy of the information. So I have a question. What kind of problems can arise from having inaccurate information in a business? Anybody? What kind of problems can arise from having inaccurate information in a business? Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so some of the problems can arise is like embarrassment, loss of productivity, serious legal and safety issues, and it can also harm the business's reputation and the business person as being reliable. To avoid these mistakes, you should double check every piece of information you have. You should make sure all your outside sources are reliable, and review all of your mathematical calculations over again, and make sure all your dates and schedules are exact. And last, you have to make sure all of your assumptions and conclusions are valid, because when you assume, you make an ass of you and me. And next to Malbinder for the conclusion.
So guys, concluding this presentation, I would like to repeat that proper planning is required to deliver good and effective business messages. Information must be gathered in order to make sure that the speaker knows what he's talking about and he's not hurting anyone's feelings in the audience. In other words, the speaker must make his business messages really well, that doesn't hurt anyone's feelings, and message conveyed is in accordance with the audience's needs. So he has to be professional, obviously, but he can make it interesting whenever possible. And he can also engage the audience by asking questions and doing discussions so that they don't feel bored. So that's all with the presentation. So if you guys have any questions.